Hello, PJ.
Yes.
This is Ron Keel.
Ron Keel, how are you, pal?
I am doing great, man. Are you expecting my call?
No, I was. So Rapid City, South Dakota.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Sioux Falls, actually. Sioux Falls, but the number's probably Rapid City. This is the studio line, but yeah, I'm in Sioux Falls, man, and it's great to talk to you this week. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, man. Good pleasure to talk to you.
Before we get started, could I get a liner from you? This is PJ Farley. I'm on the streets of rock and roll with Ron Keel. Something to that effect.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, everybody, this is PJ Farley, and you're listening. Right off the bat, you must have such a great highlight reel.
I do, man. I've got a great blooper reel. I'll make sure to include you in it. Absolutely.
Oh, you have to. The best. Because I'm always the one telling people, come on, don't do it in one take. That sucks. That's boring.
Exactly.
Let's hear the good stuff. So I'm on the streets in rock and roll with Ron Keel.
Yeah, that'll work.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, everybody, this is PJ Farley, and I'm out on the streets of rock and roll with Ron Keel. Who else would you like to be on the streets of rock and roll with?
Wait and Fade, the lead track from Accent the Change, the new release from PJ Farley. This guy's career kicked into high gear as the bassist for Trickster. This is his second solo album and his first for HighVol Music and his first time on the streets of rock and roll. PJ, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure to be here, man. Pleasure to be here.
Congratulations on this new release. The songs, the voice, the musicianship, the production are all world class, man. This thing sounds great. It feels great. What kind of music do you call this? I mean, you got to call it something, and you got to put it in some type of category. What would you call it if somebody asked you on an airplane, hey, man, what kind of music do you play?
No. What happened?
We got disconnected and reconnected for some reason. PJ, are you there?
I'm here. Oh, recovery mode.
We did. Yeah, we did.
We got it. We're back.
All right. Well, I got all that. Just tell me, if you're on an airplane and the guy sitting next to you doesn't know who you are and he asks you, hey, what kind of music do you play? What do you tell him?
I tell him guitar-driven rock and roll, but with a couple other layers in there. You know, a little something maybe to make you think as opposed to make you drive fast enough to get a ticket. But, you know, something you can definitely bang your head to.
It makes me want to listen to it even more. We played Let It Rain on the show a couple of weeks back, so I wanted to give the audience a taste of something else to kick off our discussion, man. And that track, Wait and Fade, what a great opening track. Strong stuff, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Oftentimes, when a show like mine gets the new releases from the label or the publicist, their digital download with just a press release, which is all good, but I haven't read the fine print, PJ. Now, your previous solo album, Boutique Sound Frames from 2016, that was a very self-indulgent album. You wrote all the songs, you played all the instruments, and I love it. Is that the case with this new album as well?
No, I did that. I did that on the first record, just out of necessity. It wasn't I wasn't trying to do that. It was just the way I had written and recorded those songs. It was so sporadic that I didn't really feel like calling anybody up and bothering anybody. You know, the songs were easy enough for me to get down. You know, I started out as a drummer, so I can, you know, boom cha in the pocket and, you know, get it down. And, you know, I know the parts that I hear in my head, and, you know, I'm not making Rush records. So I could pretty much handle, for the most part, you know, anything I hear in my head. On this record, I wanted to kind of think outside the box a little bit and, you know, get some feels and some people that were better than me, you know, especially like drums. I would like to have the drums have a little bit more movement. So there are a couple songs on this record where I did everything top to bottom. But the majority of it, I didn't, you know, I could just, some songs just vocals and bass. Some songs are vocals, bass, and guitar. So I was lucky enough to work with a bunch of people that could lend a hand, whether it's drums or guitars, some background vocals, what have you. So I was eager to get some other taste on the record.
Am I correct in assuming that producer engineer Chuck Alkazian mixed this album?
He mixed two of the songs.
Wow.
And actually he played drums on two of the songs. He mixed and played drums on the first 2 songs on the record.
Wow, that guy's a beast, man. I've worked with him before, and the album sounds absolutely fantastic. Sonic quality is something I'm going to talk about often during this discussion. I'm speaking with PJ Farley, new solo album out. Also a founding member of Trixter. And PJ, you've just launched this music video for the first single, Let It Rain. I like the lonely, personal concept of this video clip, man. Lonely dude at home with his guitar and his voice and his song. Is that your house?
No, I was actually, I'm in another band called Ruhl, and I was out in Arizona shooting videos with Ruhl, and I had the director. I'm like, hey, if we get some time, maybe we can squeeze in my video. And I was like, I had somewhat of a concept, and I'm like, man, I don't have a location or anything. We were at an Airbnb, and that's where that house is. I looked around this house. I'm like, this is perfect. It's kind of dark, kind of dingy. And I told the rest of the guys in the band, I go, stay in your rooms. I'm going to be running around the house and whatnot. Just kind of giving the illusion I'm going a little stir crazy and whatnot, because the whole theme is I do not want to go outside. I don't want to adult. I don't want to face the day. I just want to skip it, so let it rain. Tomorrow I will take on the world, but for now, leave me the hell alone. And, so that's it just worked out perfectly.
Well, a great song and a great video to accompany that. So we got that straight. It's not your house. Is that actually you laying there in bed without your shirt on?
It is.
It is. I don't even like you anymore, man. No,
it's like the man with the man without the mask. Right.
Honest and transparent, taking off the mask. That's fantastic. Great video clip on YouTube, just launched for the song, the first single from PJ's new album. The song's called Let It Rain. You're also very active as a touring musician, touring with both Eric Martin of Mr. Big, as well as being a member of Chris Jericho's band, Fozzy. Do I have that right?
Yes, I've been touring with Fozzy this year too. Yeah,
fantastic.
In your hometown too. We were there over the summer.
Man, I know you were here, and I was on the road. I missed it. I'm sorry that I missed it. How did the show go, and how did Sioux Falls treat you?
Oh, awesome! It was a breath of fresh air. Literally, it was so good to be out, and it was the first time I was out of my house in 5 months. So it was, and to, at the Sioux Falls at that time was nowhere near where New Jersey was. So numbers wise, so it was a little taste of normalcy.
Good for you,
great,
man.
Great show, great crowd.
Yeah, it's a great venue too, and a great rock audience here in the wild, wild Midwest. I'm sorry that I missed it. Hope to catch you next time, man. PJ, I want to take you back in time, 12 years to the last time I saw Trixter. It's a day I'll never forget, man. Rocklahoma, 2008. I was scheduled to play the following day. I actually did end up playing, but that's another story for another time. Trixter was on the main stage, and suddenly this massive storm descended upon us. Both side stages collapsed, and these were massive side stages as well. I have a personal story about that disaster, but I want to get your take on that day. You remember that?
Oh, I absolutely do. That was our first show back in 13 years. We decided to put the band back together, and that was our inaugural reunion show. And I joked that we were so good we blew ourselves off the stage.
That's a good one. That was
either that or I say, you know what? God damn it! I knew we shouldn't have done this. But I absolutely remember that. I remember coming out on stage that day, seeing a big cloud in the distance. I'm like, okay, no big deal. Sun's out. Everyone's having a great time. And it started working its way over, man. And then all of a sudden I felt this cold gust of wind literally lift me up a little bit. Then mic stand went flying up the stage. Next thing you know, lightning, rain. I literally got picked up. Somebody picked me up and dragged me up the stage. So that's it. Second stage collapsed. We're done here.
Yeah, we were scheduled to play on that side stage the following day, so I'm out there watching Trixter and doing a meet and greet in the merch tent at the same time when the storm hit. My wife, who's a photographer, actually got a photo of a funnel cloud in the distance. She wasn't my wife then, she was my girlfriend, but we were in the merch tent, and the side stage collapsed on top of the tent. We saw that truss and the light rig and the PA come through the roof of that tent. I grabbed her and pulled her out of that wreckage, and we ran for our lives. So she had to marry me. I saved her life, and now we're happily married. But, man, that is a memory that I will never forget, and I'm glad that everybody made it out safely. It's a miracle nobody died that day.
Yeah. it was amazing. I mean, I think somebody broke their arm. That was it.
That's right.
I mean, I remember coming up the stage. First person I saw was Eddie Trunk, and he had heard somebody died. He said somebody just got killed at the second stage. I'm like, oh my God. Then they closed the gate, like the door to the main stage, and locked us in. They wouldn't let us leave. And security guards are like, yeah, well, there's another one right behind it. Where there's one tornado, there's always a second.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, great. And my wife's with me, and she's like super into storm chasers and everything. And, so she was, but super scared, but super interested. But I'm like, yeah, well, you're getting your own personal show right here.
Wow. Well,
it was scary.
That was the last time I saw Trixter. Hopefully it won't be the last time I get to see you with Trixter as a solo artist or one of these other acts as well. My special guest, PJ Farley, I'm really glad to have you on the show this week. An episode that has to, in some way, also mention, celebrate, and pay tribute to one of our lost heroes. Eddie Van Halen recently passed away, and I want to give you a chance to tell us what he and his music mean to you.
Well, I mean, Eddie has, shaped, so much of my musical, landscape. I mean, it's hard to put into words. I mean, I think everybody out there listening knows exactly what I mean. You can't find a person to not know what I'm talking about. And, I was, lucky enough to become social with him. And, Steve Brown, my guitar player, became friends with him. We were introduced to him by his tech, Matt Bruck, who is since, been, now he runs EVH. And he kind of led us into the inner circle back in like 1991. And Ed just took a liking to Steve. And so I have many great fond memories of just me, Steve, and Ed hanging out in the room and being normal and just chatting and, being just three guys. And so it's amazing to let alone meet the guy, considering what he's done for our childhood, but then to just be in his presence as just somebody, as a friend, like talking and just not just shaking his hand and taking a picture. It was really one of those, special things that happened when it did happen. And it happened a good handful of times for me, but yeah, I mean, Steve's been to his house in Malibu, and it was, we were definitely blessed with that. So, I mean, and a guy like that, you can't say enough about him. I mean, there's no words. There's no words. Yeah, well, that's amazing and really cool that you got to share that time with him and get to know him. And my condolences to you and all of us, the entire, everybody on the planet. Yeah, everybody.
We all lost a big chunk of our lives and our music, but that will live on. And I appreciate you sharing that story with us. The new album is fantastic. PJ Farley, there's a lot of substance to this music. You can tell it's from the heart. Very well written, well played, and state-of-the-art sonic quality, as I've continued to mention. It's called Accent the Change from HighVol Music. That's HighVol, H-I-G-H, HighVolMusic.com. Find this guy at pjfarley.com. In the bottom left-hand corner of that website, there's a little cool arrow pointing you to all of PJ's social media networking sites. PJ, best of luck with the solo career and all the other business and music that you've got going on.
Thank you, man. I'm going to need it.
Can you stick around for a couple of minutes? I want to get a little extra content for the Roncast. That's my podcast where we have uncensored interviews and bonus content.
Sure, man.
Awesome. Thanks. Cool. PJ Farley on the streets of rock and roll. I'll be headed down the home stretch, segment 3, just around the bend. And PJ, in addition to what we've already discussed, I have a few extra questions about some other topics. First of all, did I lose you again?
These phones, they call them phones, but you can't talk on them anymore.
I know, man. Well, I'm glad that we got cut off.
You can make records on them.
Exactly. I'm glad we got cut off at a good time because the interview had wrapped and I've got a couple extra questions. In addition to what we've already discussed, first of all, this is a big question that demands a big answer, but how do you see the future of the entertainment industry evolving in the wake of the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic?
Oh man, I think I think we're going to recover. I honestly do. I think we've all learned a lot. We've all learned how to behave a little more consciously, health-wise and, germ-wise and hygienically. And I think that's a good thing overall. But I mean, people are talking about, well, when COVID goes away, well, COVID's not going to go away. We're going to have a vaccine. Half the population is going to get it. Half the population isn't. So we're still going to have a problem. However, maybe it'll be the people who are at risk of really getting affected by this will get it and be protected. And those who will just get, kind of a flu, maybe lost a sense of smell, more milder symptoms, they'll just kind of deal with it. Many, many, many people have it, got it, and, live to tell. And that's the state we're in right now. And that's preventing everybody from congregating and having shows and whatnot. And I get that. But down the road, when there is a vaccine, I think the people at risk of really suffering from it should get it. And everyone else who doesn't want to get it, fine, as long as you're okay with that. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to recover. And I think it's going to go back to, people need to get back to what they know and love. And there's no way around it. It's going to happen. And if it's got to be people coming to shows in their car and watching from their car or just outside their car, or, venues have to completely overhaul the way people are spaced out and build things, it's going to happen. But it's coming back. There's no question about it.
I hope you're right. The music
and
will
probably sooner than later.
I sure hope so. The music will always live on, and the music industry itself usually finds a way to evolve. Sometimes that's not in our best interests as artists, but it will survive and it will evolve. Now, politics. I don't need to know which side you're on unless you want to express those views. Go right ahead. But what I want is your take on how we, as entertainers, can make our voices heard without alienating our audience, most of who just want us to shut up and sing and keep our opinions to ourselves.
I think us, we as entertainers, yes, we do have a voice, but we can't abuse that voice and we can't take advantage of it. And I think, especially with politics, when you start talking, you start swaying. And I don't think that's our position. I don't think that's our right, even though we have a voice. I think it's our right. I think it's our responsibility to make people aware that they need to be informed and do their share in making a difference. Form their own opinion, do your own research. So we shouldn't be out there preaching, I think, one way or the other. I don't believe that that's why we're here. That's, some of us, some entertainers, actors, musicians, whatever, they kind of get on their high horse and think, oh, well, I have 2 million followers and blah, 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 blah. Well, you're not gonna after that if you go on rants trying to sway. So just the best thing you could do is tell people, get informed and make an informed decision in order to make a difference, and leave it at that. Let people do it on their own, but stress the importance of gaining the knowledge.
Well said, man. And I wrestle with this topic myself all the time because it's in our DNA. As creative people, we have an urge and a desire to express ourselves, whether it's through music or lyrics or spoken words.
Right.
And it's tough to walk that line between saying what you feel and what you think without trying to influence other people, tell them how to act or who to vote for, what to do. I'm always really, really torn about that because social commentary in music was a big part of my youthful years growing up in the 60s and 70s when artists would express their views and thoughts in lyric form, and even famous athletes. Muhammad Ali, the greatest. I mean, he made a stand. What if he just shut up and boxed? Yeah. Or what if Ronald Reagan just shut up and acted and didn't get elected president? So it's a tough topic for me. I don't have any answers, but I wanted your take on it, and that was a great way to sum it up, man. Thanks so much for your extra time, for coming on the show, and thanks for a great new album, man. Great to talk to you, and once again, best of luck. I'll be right back after this. Hey, this is Ron Keel from the Ron Keel Band, Steeler and Keel. And you got it, the right to shop at the coolest stores on the planet, specializing in all things 70s, 80s, and 90s. Retroactive and Retroactive Part 2 in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and online at shopretroactive.com. And I'll be there with you to celebrate Retroactive's Sweet 16 anniversary celebration on Saturday, July 31st. That's right, the Metal Cowboy live in store at Retroactive. I'm going to play some music, take some photos, sign some autographs, basically shop all night and party all day. Music, movies, memorabilia, and more. Retroactive and Retroactive Part 2 have it all. Once again, I'm Ron Keel, and I can't wait to see you at Retroactive Saturday, July 31st. Visit shopretroactive.com.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Rick. It's Ron Keel.
Ron Keel, good to talk to you, sir.
You too, man. Glad to catch up, and congratulations on a fantastic album, man. I have really enjoyed getting to know this new record.
Well, thank you very much. It was a pain in the butt to write, but we tried to go at it in a whole different direction than we've done anything else, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of my guys for putting up with me.
I can imagine, man. I'm looking forward to talking about it on the show this week. I am ready to roll when you are, except while I've got you, and you've got a great phone signal, can I get a liner from you for the radio show? This is Rick Ruhl.
Sure thing.
Rick Ruhl from EMN on the streets of rock and roll with Ron Keel.
You ready?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Rick Ruhl from EMN, and you're on the streets of rock and roll with Ron Keel. Crank it up, baby!
One hell of an opening song. That is Getaway, the lead track from the new album by EMN, Resurrect the Faithful, on HighVol Music. I've got the man behind the madness and the masterpiece on the studio line right now. Founder and frontman of Every Mother's Nightmare, Rick Ruhl. Rick, how are you, dude?
Man, I'm great, man. First off, I want to tell you, it was a total honor playing with you a couple of weeks ago. We've been banging around this country for years and years, and I've never got to go see you or never got to play with you, and that was a true honor for me because I've followed you for a long time, so I had to get that out in the open right then, right now.
Oh, right on. That was my first comment or question right there. First of all, man, it was great seeing you and the band. And what a great show. And a double-fisted, two-fisted punch, man. EMN and Ron Keel Band invaded Kansas City a couple of weeks back, and it was a blast. Hope we'll do it again, and we'll talk more about that later on. But right now, the big headline is your new album, Resurrect the Faithful. Congratulations on a great record, man. Your new 11-song collection. I premiered the title track on this show last week. Got an amazing response. Everybody loves it, man. As artists, Rick, we seem to always have to say in interviews, we got to say this, yeah, this is the best album I've ever made. But in this case, I really believe you feel that way.
Yeah, man, I really do. It took a lot of years to build up. I had to rebuild some bridges that I'd crushed on my way to get here. But, I go at everything pretty much, ass backwards. I got to go at it the hard way and learn my lesson. So, but I really just, I've learned a lot, and I finally got with 5 guys that are in the same frame of mind as me. It's about nothing more than your 11 or 12 songs is what you live by record. And I really believe that this is the best stuff I've ever I've ever written. My guys, once again, I got to always, I thank them for putting up with me because it's hard to get it out of my head. My bass player Troy goes, if we can just get what's in your head on to this neck of this bass guitar, we'll be okay. So,
that's awesome. Well said by all your guys. And I really enjoyed getting to know them at that show we did a couple of weeks back. The chemistry is absolutely working, and it shows in the passion, the energy, the anger, and the excitement of these new tracks, your best release so far. I'm speaking with EMN frontman Rick Ruhl. And Rick, there's more than just this great collection of songs. There's also a documentary film about the making of this project. Here's to the Ones. The documentary made its worldwide premiere September 27th on the bravewords.com social networks, and it's a really cool piece of work, man. Plug the film and talk about the upcoming DVD release.
I was really scared to do a documentary because, I've seen a million documentaries, and the first thing I wanted to do is I didn't want it to be an hour and a half long, where, there's only so much stuff you can see in the studio and so much idiot things that we do that you can stand in one setting, So I just wanted to be short and sweet, kind of give a little insight to what the band is and what we are and the process of writing and recording and showing a little bit how stupid we are, But I when I saw it for the first time, I was really floored by it because, it wasn't nothing like I expected or nothing like I've seen before. So, and I gotta give a lot of props to Bill Chavis on that, because he's always had my back. He's always looking out for me, even though I'm doing something wrong. He's always looking out for the best for me, and I'm sure he does you too. He's just one of those cats, but I'm very proud of finally doing one of these things and getting it out there, and I can't wait. We're doing a little question and answer thing here in a couple of days about it, and I'm real happy. I'm in a real good spot with my music. I'm in a good spot with my people and my home people. So, it's life is good right now. So
yeah, certainly got to get, I'll reiterate that plug for Bill Chavis at HighVol Music. He's always had your back. He's the biggest EMN fan on the planet. He's had my back, and now you and I are on the same label, HighVol Music. Great to be label mates with you. And Bill does it right. And with all his heart, and certainly got to give him a huge vote of thanks and gratitude during this interview. A few months back, you guys had announced that there would be no more live shows for EMN in 2020. You bent that rule to hook up with me and the band in Kansas City on September 12th. Where do you stand, Rick, on the COVID-19 crisis and doing more gigs like that in the future?
Man, I'm trying to do gigs. I'm trying to do the hell with the COVID virus tour,
Right on.
I'm like you, man. I'm a road dog. That's all I know is going out and writing songs, record them, and go out and play them. So I just want to go out and play, as soon as we can. I lost 6 overseas shows over this thing, and I haven't got to go there yet. And I was going to get to go this year. I had 6 shows lined up, and that kind of knocked me out of that. So, I just want it all to get back to normal, and I want everybody to be safe and do their thing, but I just want to go out and play, just like you, man.
Absolutely, and I can't agree with you more. You and your band and my band are a perfect fit together, man. We showed that in Kansas City. We do have another show on the horizon, the Smokin' Country Saloon Bike Rally, now rescheduled for May 28th, 2021. I'm looking forward to that and many more shows with you next year and beyond.
Right on. I'm with you.
Now, I know, Rick, you have, and this was a great rap during the gig when I saw you play this song, listening to your speech prior to the song really hit home. I know you've got a love-hate relationship with that signature single, the hit Love Can Make You Blind. Talk about the decision to re-record that song for this new album.
Well, when I did my first record, I'll say straight up, I got signed after 13 shows. I didn't have the skill or the knowledge to do records back then. All I knew then was I wanted a record deal and I was going to get a record deal. And then I got a record deal, but I really didn't know what to do with the record deal because like I said, I didn't have the skills or the knowledge. So I had to go, ask first and learn the hard way. But, for a long time, I really hated that song because I got to play that song everywhere I go. But, I just sit back and thought about it. I said, it's a good song. And it's, it really that song got me from living in a 10 by 20 store unit to going all over the country and everywhere, just doing everything, and got me out. So I just really thought, now that I've got a band that I'm really comfortable with, and the band's comfortable with it, they did that as a favor for me. They didn't have to do that. I asked them, I said, we got time in the studio. I would really like to just do a revamped version of Love Can Make You Blind. And, how many times do you really get to do that in this kind of business, where you do something and you got to live with it forever and ever once it's on vinyl, or on a CD or whatever. So my band was like, you know what, Richard, if you want to do it, let's do it. And so we just kind of, the way we play it's not exactly like the record, but, we've kind of grown, and it's just, it's morphed into what it is. And I just wanted to do it. I felt in my gut that I really wanted to do it from people that have listened to it for all these years and followed me. And my fans, I love the fans more than anything. And whoever's in this business and think that it's not about the fans and the fans don't make this thing go, they're crazy, So that's why I did it. It made me feel better. Hopefully when other people hear it, they go, yeah, cool, I understand. So, it was just something I wanted to do for my gut,
Well, it's working. Good call, and a great version of that classic song. You and I have certainly walked a lot of the same paths. We're cut from the same cloth. I had a record deal as well before I knew what the hell I was doing, and I've had to learn the hard way like you have. Plus, we both have our roots in the, quote, hair metal genre, and we both have a Southern side to us as well. How do you balance that hair metal history with your Southern heart and soul, both in your music and in your marketing?
Well, I can't deny what I am. Everything I do and the way I talk gives my Southern away, But, I grew up, my uncle worked for Charlie Daniels for 29 years. So that was engraved in my bones. And, it's just part of me, it's no matter what I do, it's going to be Southern. It's going to be rock and roll. And, the 80s is what the 80s was. And, you can't, you had to have a little song like Love Can Make You Blind to get a deal in the 80s, and that's what you had to do. So it's just part of life, it's just something you got to live with, and you just kind of, I think this record here, when I was listening to it, I said, man, it's got so many, the new record has got so many, so many throwbacks to things that I loved growing up listening to music, all the way back from, Van Halen, Priest, everything we used to listen to, man. And, that people say, well, is that copying? I say, no, to me, that's, throwing homage, that's stuff I love. And, that's what you do with music. You take what you love from other people's music and you try to make things out of it your own. In my book, I might be wrong, but
you are right. You hit the nail right on the head, man. And I got that listening to this record because I was a big fan of your previous album, The Southern Way. And I didn't know what to expect when I listened to this new album, Resurrect the Faithful, but it is very diverse, and I describe it more in terms of those different emotions: passion, anger, excitement, as opposed to hair metal or Southern rock or whatever you might want to call it. It's passionate, it's exciting, and it's really damn good. Resurrect the Faithful, the provocative new album from EMN, Every Mother's Nightmare, 11 tracks of larger-than-life new music featuring the first single, Breathe, and a new recording of their top hit, Love Can Make You Blind. The official release date is October 23rd. It's available at EMN Rocks and HighVolMusic.com. Follow them on Facebook at EMN Band. Rick, congratulations again, man. Great album, and I look forward to talking to you again and seeing you soon.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it. I can't wait to play again, man. I had a great time.
Me too, man. And congratulations. I know you've got your work cut out for you the next couple of months promoting this album, and I'm sure it's going to pay off.
Thank you, man. I hope so.
You got it, man. Great conversation. I really appreciate you, and I really do dig the record. The production is fantastic, by the way. You guys really, and I did not see the documentary yet because it's being released on the 25th, or I think tomorrow is the date.
It's Sunday, whatever Sunday.
Okay.
I think it's the 25th.
I haven't seen it yet, but this show will launch on Monday, so I had to pretend like I'd already seen it. I can't wait. I can't wait. And I'm really excited for you, and I'm very pleased that we're label mates and brothers in blood, my friend.
Right on, brother. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Take care, and I'll talk to you.